Greetings and salutations, witches and friends. This is your girl Sage, aka Sage the Urban Witch, and I am on for a channel message for you guys, so tap in, okay? So you guys, today's channel message has to do with you're playing a different game, okay? This is the message that Spirit wanted me to relate to you guys today, okay, as it relates to today's channel message for my collective, okay? The message again is that you guys are playing a different game. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's break it down into a lot of different scenarios that came to me during the meditation, okay? The first thing I'm hearing from Spirit as it relates to you guys are playing a different game. I'm hearing from Spirit, you guys have learned how, and you are learning how to play dumb, okay? To play, like you don't know what's going on, like you haven't heard the gossip about a particular person that may be trying to, come back into your life, or that you haven't heard the gossip that people have been saying about you, okay? You guys have decided to allow the clowns to play amongst themselves in their own circus, okay? Because you guys have opted out, yeah? I'm hearing from Spirit that in this season, you guys, you have a lot of people that they're doing a lot of things to try to distract you guys, okay? To try to disrupt your peace because they see that you're very booked and busy. They see that you guys are, you have pulled back your energy, and a lot of things that used to get you in trouble, you guys have learned how to steer clear from. And one of the things that used to get you guys in trouble, according to Spirit, was always trying to be the mediator, always trying to be the fixer, the caretaker, the problem solver in other people's business and other people's relationships or relationships that didn't have anything to do with you. And rather than, bringing some type of solution to the problem, what they would do is deliberately pull you into situations to get you involved so that it would wreak havoc and chaos in your life. So it will cause you to pit, to have people pit their friendships or family relationships against you when you were just trying to be the mediator, just trying to help out, okay? So you guys have learned how to just mind your business, okay, and stay out of it and allow people to tend to their own drama, their own chaos, their own foolishness. So I'm hearing from Spirit that, when it comes to you guys playing a different game, come through Spirit, one of the ways that you guys are playing a different game is that you're going to play dumb, okay? You're going to pretend like, I don't know anything. I haven't heard. No, nobody called me. Auntie didn't call me about this. She didn't call me about that. Because I was busy, I wasn't here, and matter of fact, I'm gonna have to cut this conversation short because I gotta do okay? You guys are learning how to play dumb so that you can stay out of it, so that you can keep your name out of other people's mouths, so that you can stop making it so that you're gonna be the peacemaker and a mediator for everyone that is about everything but peace. They're about drama, and you're the number one person that they want to go to because they know that you're a very empathic person. You're a very peaceful person, but they also have used your kindness and your desire to want to create peace amongst everyone. They have used that as a weapon against you to keep you stirred up in other people's shit, okay? And then when it comes for someone to come to your defense, dear one, no one is there. All of a sudden you hear crickets, okay? So that's the first thing that Spirit is saying, that in this season you guys have learned how, and you are learning how to play dumb so that you can, keep your name and keep your just keep yourself out of being involved in other people's shenanigans, okay? Now, another message that came through in terms of you guys playing a different game, okay? You're playing a different game from the game that other people are playing around you, or that other people are trying to play with you, okay? And I'm hearing from Spirit, and this kind of piggies off of the first one, okay? I'm hearing from Spirit, you guys are no longer the strong, reliable one, okay? You're no longer the strong friend. You're no longer the strong, reliable family member, okay? The one that, again, when people want to get talked off the ledge, they call you. When people want to answer to a certain solution, they call you up and they ask you like you're, Google, okay? Like you goddamn DuckDuckGo, okay? And it's like they feel entitled to your intellect or the knowledge that you have, okay? Some of you guys out there who are part of my collective, you have a wide network, okay? Because you have an influence, okay? You get to know a lot of different people, I'm hearing from Spirit, from a lot of different walks of life. Okay, so you have access to a lot of different people that those around you don't have access to. Okay, perhaps through way of education, perhaps through way of traveling and meeting different people and being a people person and knowing how to talk to a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds. Okay, yeah, perhaps from, you guys, some of you guys, you may have been in the military. Okay, so you have had the advantage of meeting a lot of different people, okay, relating to a lot of different people in a lot of different positions of authority. Okay, so I'm hearing from spirit, you guys have a vast knowledge of people and connections based on your experiences, based on past job history or traveling experience, or even based on people that you guys have dated. Okay, some of you guys may have dated people from a lot of different cultures. Okay, racial cultures, ethnic backgrounds, and people from a different walks of life in terms of socioeconomic status. Okay, people that would just give you their business card and say, just bypass this person and contact me directly, or here's my email. I don't give this out to a lot of people, but you're in the group. Okay, you're in the mix. Okay, you're in the network. Okay, is what I'm hearing from spirit. So but rather than allow people to use you guys, you're just gonna you're playing dumb. You're no longer being that reliable person, because you guys have come to understand that 9 times out of 10, unless people have always been around you and there's been an equal reciprocity. Okay, you give me that connection, I'll give you this connection next time around. Or, I'm coming to the table equal with what you have. So it's not going to be a situation where I'm just calling on you and expecting you to give. Okay. If it's not that type of, reciprocity, a lot of you guys have determined that, I'm done trying to be the smartest person in this group because I'm getting drained. I'm done trying to be the person that is, the all go-to person, the end all be all when someone has an issue, when someone needs a loan. Okay. When someone needs a problem to be resolved. Okay. Go find out the information on your own. Go research it. Go look it up. Okay. I'm also hearing from spirit, some of you guys who are spiritually inclined, okay, and spiritually gifted, like your girl Sage. Okay. You guys have learned that, a lot of people have been just simply trying to use you guys or get close to you just so that they can get the benefit of your spiritual foresight. Okay. They want to get free readings and free counseling. Okay. They want you to do free work. Okay. How do I do this egg cleanse? Can you do an egg cleanse? Can you do a cord cutting for me for this and that? And rather than trying to learn, rather than trying to, contact their ancestors, rather than trying to develop a deeper, more profound, intimate relationship with their creator, they're coming to you. And you're like, no, we're not doing that anymore, because you're just using me, okay, at the end of the day. So a lot of you guys, I'm hearing from spirit, as it relates to you guys no longer, allowing yourself to be used in your social circles and your family circles, even in, your community, your network, or wherever you see that people are just trying to, use you because they don't want to put in the work, or they don't want to do what it is that they need to do to come up. They want to use you. A lot of you guys have learned how to play a different game. You're like, no, I don't have that information. I don't know that. Oh, you have this particular problem. Oh my goodness. That's so unfortunate. Okay, what are you going to do about that? Okay, you guys are flipping it back on those people. And a lot of them are very irritated, frustrated, upset. A lot of them are calling you everything but a child of God. And that's okay, because you have learned, dear one, that in this new season that you guys are embarking upon, where, you are really valuing your energy, you're valuing your time, you're valuing your essence, your resources, your intellect, everything that you have to give, that you're not giving it to people that aren't worthy. You're not giving it to people that are just lazy and that just want to use you. So at the end of the day, dear one, I'm hearing from spirit, you don't give a damn about what they're saying about you, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to say it in your face because, they're straight bussy. Come through spirit. Yeah, they're not going to say it in front of your face. And then, you're no longer concerned about what people are saying about you anyway, in terms of you preserving your energy and your resources. Other people will preserve themselves, and so you have a right to do the same. And at the end of the day, you a grown ass woman. Yeah, you a grown ass man. And who gonna check you? Nobody. Come through spirit. So you guys have learned how to play a different game. Thank you, spirit. Also, I had to clear my throat, okay? Also, you guys, I'm hearing from Spirit, you guys are playing a different game in terms of, not competing with your enemies, okay? You're only competing with yourself, okay? I'm hearing from Spirit, and I'm also seeing in the ethers that it's like a lot of buzzing around you guys, like busy bees, people that are just so meddlesome, that just wants to meddle in your business, only want to call you up or only want to see what you got going on so that they can compete, okay? And I'm hearing from Spirit that, you guys are playing a different game in that, you don't care how much people try to do the most and go out of their way to get your attention, go out of their way to, put you in a situation where they want to have a verbal altercation with you, where they want to go back and forth, toe to toe with you, have some type of power struggle and this and that, because they want attention, because they're really a confused groupie, and it just gives them much pleasure for you to say their name or for you to even acknowledge their pitiful existence, okay? So you guys have pulled back your energy into the point where you're playing a different game where, to you, these people don't even exist. And it's like, yeah, I see you going out of your way to post on social media, these different, meta posts and, sub tweets and this and that, where you really trying to sneak diss me. But I'm not even paying attention to you. So I don't even know what you wrote, what you posted, what you emailed, because, all of the shit has returned back to sender because you don't have access to me. And I'm so busy focused on myself, my loved ones, what I got going on. I don't give a damn about what you're saying about me, because at the end of the day, you're the groupie, okay? So, take your ass on, get on and get some more, God damn it, okay? Come through, Spirit. So a lot of you guys have decided that, I understand that my enemies are really just groupies, okay? They're really just crazed fans, okay? They really just get off, getting, doing anything they can to get my attention, they over there, waving their arms frantically, doing cartwheels and shit, standing on their head, twerking with their finger out, okay, with their pinky out, doing the most, just trying to get my attention, okay? It's very thirsty, okay? It's giving thirst bucket, okay? Yeah, you guys have decided that, I have better things to do with my time. I have better things to do with my attention. So I don't care if my ex is trying to post his new person, his new boo. I don't give a damn. If he was really invested in her, you wouldn't be trying to get my attention, okay? So yeah, that's something that you need to work on, bruh, okay? That's something that you need to work on, sis, okay? I don't care nothing about you, posting something and hoping that I see it and hoping that I feel a certain kind of way about it, because I don't, okay? Because you're irrelevant, okay? So this is a different type of game that you guys are playing, okay? Back in the day, you guys used to, allow people to push your buttons because, you're very passionate about who you are and what you do, and you're very passionate about, how people perceive you, because you guys go out of your way to do the right thing, to, live by a certain set of rules and a certain, guideline of integrity. And it just really pisses you off when people try to smear that, when people try to go through some type of smear campaign to, sully or mar your character. But you just got into the instance and the knowledge now that that it's all a game. That at the end of the day, the people that are saying that you're this and that they know that you're not that, but they're hoping that you feel the need to explain, you feel the need to argue, because that shows that you're not very secure in yourself when you have to go back and forth with a liar, okay? So that let's say that you're 32 years old, yeah? But you got a hater that every day is telling you ain't 32. You don't even know when you was born. You 35, okay? And how old you are, okay? You got your damn birth certificate, okay? You got, information from your damn mother and your damn father that brought you into the world, okay? You got pictures, you got this and you got that. You have your family timestamps, if you will. At the end of the day, who the hell you are and what age you are. But you just got this one particular person that's yakking and act like they know more about your damn life than you do. And they're telling you that you're 32 years old. Well, at the end of the day, they know that you know how damn old you are, because it's you, okay? But, they just want to go back and forth with you because they want to aggravate and agitate you, because they know that at the end of the day, They hate for, at the end of the day, they know that you hate for people to misunderstand you, misrepresent you, to lie about you. So it's literally like they're trying to use your character of integrity against you. So when you realize that, a lot of you guys have simply removed yourself from the game. Okay, so you just want to argue and you just want to act stupid. Okay, well, I'm going to get out of the ring because, I don't have no dog invested in this fight, and I don't have nothing to gain at the end of the day but a headache from dealing with your dumb, stupid ass. Okay, so I'm going to keep it moving and you can keep arguing with yourself. Okay. So a lot of you guys come through spirit, you have learned how to play a different game, okay? Allow people to think whatever they want. Allow people to say whatever they want, okay? They will not be able to get under your skin. They will not be able to, rage bait you. They will not be able to aggravate and agitate you, because essentially that's what they want to do. They just want to drain your energy. They're like energy vampires, okay? If you respond to them, they have really subconsciously put you on a pedestal. And by you just merely giving them any type of attention, leads them to believe in the delusion that they're on your level, okay, which they're not, okay? Kind of like a troll that goes out of their way to be in your comment section just to say something stupid. Because, it's akin to a fan that's, chasing their favorite movie star or their, favorite, a singer or rapper down the street to get an autograph. Okay, it's equivalent to that level of thirst. Okay, you going out of your way to chase me down just so that you can get an autograph. That's kind of akin to what a troll does when they come into the comment section. They're literally like running down the street about to stab themselves with the pen in their hand, trying to get an autograph from you, okay? Trying to get you to say something, trying to, take a photo of you, okay? Trying to do a selfie, a self-imposed selfie without your permission, That's like, that's a troll. A troll is a confused groupie, okay? That's all they really are. So a lot of you guys, dear one, you're emanating this kind of, wow, I just heard rags to riches energy come through spirit. You're emanating this type of energy where you're very influential. A lot of you guys are in the public eye. So you are a public figure in some way, shape, or form, okay? You don't necessarily have to be a celebrity or an artist or creative. Some of you guys are, but in your own way, okay, on your own level. And so, but you have to realize that, spirit is not done with you yet. And so there are people, there are these groupies, there are these enemies, okay? There are these haters that see your potential. They see it before you see it, okay? And they see the trajectory of where you're headed. So, okay, you could be, someone just well known in your local community, but, by the time it's all said and done, you're going to be on the level of an A-lister or a B-lister, and everyone is going to know you worldwide. And so this groupie, this troll, this, this hater, your ex that can't, keep his or her name out their rabbit ass mouth, they see it, okay? They see that you are a star rising, but rather than continue to allow them to drag you down, okay? Because see, your stock value has risen. So every time you stoop down to the level to address these roaches, okay, to address these mud ducks, okay, you lose a level of your star quality, you lose a level of, your star power and your stock value. Unless, of course, you're checking them and putting them in their place and letting them know that you do not tolerate disrespect. But when it's a constant back and forth of, your truth versus their truth, and they know that they're a liar anyway, you don't have to argue with that, okay? So a lot of you guys have learned to play a different game. Come through spirit. Because you're not competing with your enemies. You're not trying to explain. You're not trying to overly defend yourself. The truth doesn't have to be defended constantly or explained constantly. It just is what it is, okay? Quality and star power doesn't have to announce itself. Hey, I'm in the room, okay? Your energy announces it. When you step into a room and people take a look and step back and say, oh, who is this? Who is that? You have already spoken, dear one, without even saying a word, okay? That's the power of energy. That's the power of truth. It needs no explanation. It just is what it is, okay? A lot of times people learn that simply by living their life, their own authentic life, that the truth eventually is exposed and revealed, okay? That the liars and the lie is eventually exposed and revealed. And meantime, you just living your merry little life, living your best life, just living your life, like it's golden, 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 golden. Come through, spirit. That's old school. That's Jilly from Philly. Yeah. So, a lot of times you guys, just by living your life, the truth, clears its reputation and clears you up because you're living in your authentic truth. And so you guys have learned how to play a different game. You're not about to get my blood pressure all the way up, arguing with your dumb, stupid ass, and you just invested in misunderstanding me. You knew before you opened your raggedy ass mouth what the truth was. Take your ass on. I ain't got time for you, okay? Go find somebody else to play with, because I'm not your toy, okay? Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Come through, spirit. And then also, dear one, and then I'll cut it short right here. The streams are just coming through, okay? But the last message I heard from Spirit regarding you guys, playing a different game, I'm hearing from Spirit as it relates to relationships. Yeah. As it relates to relationships, dear one, I'm hearing from Spirit, you're playing the long game, okay? So for those of you guys who are harmoniously single, and those of you guys who know your value and you refuse to settle, and you got people wanting to play games with you and saying, your expectations are too high, you need to lower your standards, and you think you all that, you too lofty, you need to give your ex or your baby father or your baby mother another chance. It's like, nah, you give them another chance. This ain't Biggie over here. I ain't got to give nobody another motherfucking chance. Come through, spirit. Ooh, pardon me, YouTube. I felt some sauce on that. That one was spicy. Yeah, that's how a lot of you guys feel, because you guys are playing the long game when it comes to relationships. So you're not about playing games. You're not about being somebody's third party, sneaky link, okay? You're not about being a part of somebody's, whole harem of, Jezebels and Jezebels, because you've made it clear that you're not a hoe. Bars, okay? So you don't care, how much people try to peer pressure you, clown you, say that you're approved, say that, you're too vanilla, you're not with this, you're not with that. They can call you every color of the rainbow, every flavor of the, every flavor of the day, or whatever the case may be, every flavor that they savor, neighbor, but you're not going to be a part of their crew, okay? You don't get down like that, okay? And so, you guys, you're playing the long game in terms of, I know what I want, because, I've dealt with, enough frogs to know that, I don't want this particular thing. I don't want that particular thing. So, rather than just repeating that same old cycle, I'm just going to refuse to settle, because I'm very clear that, I'm in it to win it. And I don't want to have to keep going back and forth over these same cycles and these same loops of dealing with one gutter rat or one mutt duck after the next, and then I need to take time to heal, and I don't have all of that unnecessary time to be wasting when I already know what I want. So you guys are, if you're out single and mingling and you're into the dating scene now, okay, and this is for my collective, my crew that are harmoniously single, okay, you're not desperate, okay, you're just chilling and you're waiting. There's a difference, okay? And the difference can be felt in your energy. People know when you're thirsty, okay, versus when they know that you're very quenched and you're very well, satiated, if you will, okay? You're just cool. You're cool like that, you chilling, and it's not an issue, okay? Yeah, but for those of you guys who are harmoniously single, I'm hearing from spirit, you guys are playing the long game. And so, you're not willing to deal with any type of people from your past. You're not willing to deal with players. You're not willing to deal with people that, they don't know what the hell they want, but they want to use you as some type of test bunny or guinea pig to see if they have grown up, to see if they have matured, to see if it has what it takes, okay? You're not nobody's test, okay? Nah, you're not nobody's experiment. They either going to come to the table already, working with what you want and what you need, or they can keep it moving, okay? Because you guys are wanting to date for the prospect of a long-term partner. You're trying to find your person. I'm hearing from spirit. A lot of you guys want to get married, and others of you guys, you just want a high vibrational committed partnership, some companionship that doesn't even have to have any type of legal papers attached to it. but it's more heart-centered in terms of, you have your independence, I have my independence, okay? You have your home, I have my home, you have your life, I have my life. Okay, but we come together and we vibe out. Sometimes I vibe out over your place, sometimes you vibe out over mine. When we decide, throughout the year how many times we want to go on a vacation, we come together. When we decide that, we just want to chill and have some fun, we go on our weekend excursions, we do this, we do that. Okay, but we's grown and we don't necessarily, need to have any type of legal papers attached to it, because at the end of the day, these are my free birds that I'm tapping into. You guys just want to have a harmonious relationship on your terms without having strings attached, to the point where if things change, if your feelings change, or if you find out that you were dating the representative rather than the real thing, that you can just cut ties and keep it moving without it having to be a lot of, loose ends and a lot of, shit that you have to unravel from, that's going to cost you money and that's going to, cost you, trips to the courthouse, if you will. Some of you guys are in that energy, okay, is what I'm sensing from spirit. But whether you want a marriage legally, or whether you just want a high vibrational committed relationship on your own terms, where you can still maintain a high level of your freedom. And for these couples or these people that I'm tapping into your energy, you guys are like high earners, or you're very much so invested in a business. You're very much so invested in doing something that you have been called to do. So your life is very purpose driven, and relationships is not really a priority on your list, okay? But you do want companionship, but you have a lot of rules in terms of, how you want to engage with another person, because you are not like an average person. You have a lot to lose, okay? And you're going to protect your assets, you're going to protect your business, you're going to protect what you worked for. So you would feel more comfortable, and I'm speaking to a lot of divine feminines as I'm tapping into your energy. You guys would be more comfortable in terms of a companionship that doesn't involve legalities, okay? Legal paper, but still a very beautiful, harmonious companionship nonetheless, okay? So, but whether you're looking to be married legally, or whether you're just looking to have a high vibrational committed relationship or companionship, I'm hearing that you're still playing the long game. You're not dealing with no clowns, okay? Yeah, you said miss me with the circus, okay? And I know that's right, okay? So, dear one, that is a little bit of the tea, okay, in terms of today's channel message, which is you're playing a different game, okay? I also just heard you're playing chess, not checkers. Come through, spirit. So, people want to play with you. They really have no idea, who they're playing with, because you guys are several steps ahead of them, okay? Yeah, you guys have already, figured out your next 3, 4, 5 moves, while they're still, back in the cut looking stupid, thinking that they really got you where they want you, but they couldn't be the furthest from the truth, okay? And these are the clowns that want to play games with you guys, but you're playing a different game. You're playing dumb. You're playing, like, I don't even see you. You don't exist. I don't see what you tweeted, what you wrote, what you posted. I didn't see you drive by. I didn't see your friend try to step up to me and, have something to say about what you want me to know, because I don't give a damn, okay? I don't see nothing, okay? I don't see Nathan, okay? Yeah, so that's the different games that you guys are playing, and I'm also hearing you're playing to win, okay? And you will, okay? You will, okay? All right, and so, dear one, that is today's collective message. And until next time, you guys, stay beautiful, stay blessed, and stay great. Peace.